Rachel Zegler is at it again.
I really do believe that. There's something wrong with her. She's disturbed, she's unhappy.
I have learned the hard way that we have to be fearless and loud in order to be heard, and to prepare for the backlash that occasionally comes with that outspokenness.
The reality is she's just not stable. Like the majority of people in Hollywood, they're just not stable human beings.
I think people will just do anything to not acknowledge that respect is earned and not just given to you in life.
What she fails at more than anything is she doesn't have the ability to phrase or frame anything in a way that wins you.
She had absolutely no idea that the conversation was being recorded. She wasn't aware that someone would eventually leak it, and she certainly never imagined that the entire internet would end up listening to it. But that's exactly what happened.
It's hard. And it's lonely. It's very lonely. I just know that if that loneliness can exist, so can other things, and I will be okay.
A shocking new twist has just erupted in the ongoing Rachel Zegler Evita controversy. And this time, it's not a vague memo. It's not a grainy behind-the-scenes video. It's not rumors whispered by unnamed crew members or cryptic notes from the director. This time, it's her actual voice. A leaked audio recording, reportedly captured during one of the final rehearsals for the Evita revival, started circulating rapidly through exclusive theater communities, fan pages, and influencer inboxes. What began as a quiet whisper online quickly turned into a full-blown digital firestorm within just a few hours.
I never want it to come off as me being ungrateful for the opportunities I have when I say that this has been the biggest adjustment of my life. Like understanding the way my life operates now, being who I am, and the things that I've been so fortunate to make. It comes with so much ground that I never thought I would be able to cover, and that people think I'm doing poorly and other people think I'm doing gracefully, and I don't think I'm doing it at all.
What's actually in the clip? What exactly is being said? And why is this single audio leak flipping the entire scandal on its head? Because if the previously leaked footage of her supposed breakdown stirred up some drama, this recording is igniting an all-out war. According to several sources close to the production, the audio appears to capture a heated backstage moment involving Rachel Zegler during a rehearsal break. She can allegedly be heard raising her voice, calling out members of the production crew, and making remarks that, if proven accurate, are already creating deep divides among her supporters and critics alike. The recording may be brief. The quality may be poor, but the content, it's explosive.
I just saw this video that was like, Rachel Zegler doesn't have a single movie role lined up after Snow White. Rachel Zegler is making her West End debut in the biggest leading role in a musical of all time. Like, she's playing Ava Perón in a Jamie Lloyd production of Evita. I promise y'all don't need to be worrying about her career like that.
And here's what makes the situation even more explosive. This new leak surfaces just days after Rachel Zegler's legal team issued cease and desist letters, ordering the immediate takedown of all behind-the-scenes footage connected to the UHRC, Evita production, including the now infamous viral video that supposedly shows her hurling a prop in frustration. Now, fans are starting to question the timing. Were those legal threats really about that clip? Or were they trying to get ahead of what was coming next? Of this?
Film industry, when you are an actor, when you sign one of these contracts in the entertainment industry, I think a lot of people on the outside think that if you are somebody who has a lot of publicity around you and your name is attached to a project, that means that you have a ton of control or a ton of intel, but usually that is not the case. Unless you are Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively with all of their films apparently, or Margot Robbie in Barbie, and you are also an executive producer. As an actor, you don't get to dictate anything. You don't get to dictate if a film actually happens. You don't get to dictate when it is shot, how it is shot, if you can ever speak about it to the public. You are simply just there to show up and say your lines and look the way they want you to look. That is our job, and that was my job on this production. So again, that's really all I can say.
Because this isn't just another internet rumor floating around. It's a voicer voice. It's charged with emotion. It's unfiltered. And depending on who you talk to, it's either the smoking gun the producers have been waiting for, or the exact nightmare scenario Rachel's team hoped to avoid. So just how damaging is it? What's actually being said in those 34 seconds? And why is this brief audio clip igniting more outrage than anything that's surfaced so far? Let's hit rewind, because this moment, this one recording, might be the loudest, most defining chapter yet in a scandal that's already reached a deafening pitch.
Rachel Zegler has been described as a walking PR disaster for Disney's. We've heard her bag the classic story before, but there's more.
It didn't debut on a major media outlet. Didn't come from a verified social account. It wasn't even posted under a recognizable name. Like so many digital wildfires, it began quietly in the shadows. A mysterious voice message shared. In a private West End WhatsApp group, just a 34-second audio file labeled stage1.mpp3. No description, no tags, no watermark, no explanation. But what happened after that was instant.
I'm the first to say, I don't know the ins and outs of the payment for these actors. To be honest, there is not a single show, a movie, or anything that I've seen really in the last 5 years that made me think these people need to be paid more. I'm sorry, but I can tell you that I wouldn't have felt that way had they not come forward and complained about it. And that's it.
Just really, why are you even worried about yourself getting paid when I thought this was about standing up for the little guy, advocating for the actors who don't get the A-list castings and aren't having their faces put on billboards but still deserve to be paid appropriately, and instead it's like it's about you in the dress. It's just not a good look.
Within just an hour, that same audio clip started surfacing in private Twitter circles, slipping into Reddit threads marked NSFW Theater Leaks, and quietly spreading through a Discord server known for its die-hard musical theater fans. Then came TikTok, and that's when things really took off. The recording itself was rough. You could barely make out the background noise. There was no video, just the faint echo of a young woman's voice, cracking slightly as she shouted something, mid-rehearsal. But the moment people heard what was said, they recognized the voice instantly. It was Rachel Zegler, at the very least, someone who sounded eerily like her. And the one sentence that pushed the clip into full-blown viral territory, that's where things take a turn. It's where it all starts to spiral.
The whole crying thing, it only seems genuine when Holly does it, but with Rachel it seems like she's acting. Not long ago, this is what she was saying. See, this is the reason people don't buy it. Don't get me wrong, she has a fan base, she has a following, she has people defending her, as she should have, but the way this damage control tour is becoming a bunch of statements that she should have made at the start, it all just makes her look worse.
Some listeners insist, she said, this is a joke. None of you get it? Others claimed the line was, this role was mine from day one. Stop questioning me. A few are convinced she was shouting directly at the director. The truth is the exact words are hard to pin down. The audio is too grainy, too chaotic to be definitive, but the emotion that came through loud and clear, she wasn't just upset, she was furious, exasperated, maybe even deeply embarrassed. Her tone didn't just carry egg, it cracked. It sounded like someone who'd been swallowing frustration for far too long. Finally let it all out.
I think the world needs a lot more of that these days, so that would be rule number one. And also, dogs are better than people. That would be something else. I think that works.
And just like that, fans had something entirely new to pick apart. Not just frozen facial expressions from a paused video or secondhand quotes from a leaked email. This time, they had a voice, a tone, a full-blown audio meltdown they could hear. For themselves, by the time the clip racked up 50,000 plays, the internet had already gone into overdrive. TikTok creators began posting subtitled versions. Some slowed the audio down to catch every syllable. Others stitched it next to old Rachel Zegler interviews, highlighting how the raw frustration in the clip didn't align with the sweet, polished persona she typically showed during press tours. And that's when things really exploded.
The only excuse I can make for her is that she's young, she's immature, she doesn't know any better. I've never heard of her before. I don't know if this is her first project or if she's done movies like this before or anything that has anything to do with acting before. But girl, this wasn't it. Like, why'd you go and dog your own movie? Dog Disney, dog the writer. She dogged everything. Now she's mad because they done fired her from upcoming projects, but you're not a team player. Why would somebody want to hire you when you don't know how to play your part? Like, you didn't know how to play your part in the movie and in the real world.
Because this wasn't just Rachel Zegler having a rough rehearsal or a fleeting bad day. This was Rachel Zegler caught in a moment. Whether she was pushed into it or let herself go suddenly, the entire narrative began to shift. This clip didn't just validate the rumors that had been circling for weeks. It gave fans something new to latch onto. For some, it was confirmation. For others, it was suspicion. But for everyone, it was something undeniable. And what happened next would tear the fan base straight down the middle. By the time the audio made its way to major YouTube commentary channels, it had already splintered into dozens of interpretations. Everyone seemed to hear something slightly different. But one thing was universally agreed upon: Rachel Zegler wasn't acting. She was genuinely viscerally furious. Insiders who claimed to have witnessed that exact Evita rehearsal confirmed that what was captured in the audio wasn't a scripted moment or an in-character improvisation. It was real. It was unscripted. It was Rachel, allegedly breaking character mid-scene, turning off mic towards stage left and letting it all out. The most widely accepted transcript, "You people don't get it. This role was mine from the start, and you're treating me like I'm disposable." Other lines allegedly heard in the clip included, "I'm not a puppet, okay? I'm not here to play nice for you. He's rewriting everything last minute, and I'm the one who looks insane. Don't talk to me like I'm some random girl from Twitter. I'm the lead." Even with the poor audio quality, the tone cut through. There was anger, there was pressure, and unmistakably, there was entitlement. That final line, "I'm the lead," became the flashpoint. Within hours, it was trending across social platforms, especially on X, formerly Twitter. Users began splicing it into parody videos, remixing it into fan edits, even auto-tuning it into memes, but it didn't stop at mockery. The clip was dissected, analyzed, and debated like a courtroom exhibit. Suddenly, the controversy was no longer about one angry moment, it was about how she was perceived. To critics, this was the smoking gun. Proof that Rachel had been clashing with the cast. Evidence that she saw herself as untouchable. A glimpse behind the curtain at the chaos that had allegedly been festering behind the scenes of Evita. But to her supporters, the audio painted a different picture. Not of a diva, but of a young actress, cracking under relentless stress. A professional, pushed to the edge by a spiraling production. They argued that what came through wasn't ego, it was exhaustion. One TikTok comment with over 25,000 likes simply read, "She sounds pushed, not spoiled." And that's what made this leak more divisive than anything that had come before. The director's notes suggested she was difficult. Psst, the prop throwing. Clips showed her allegedly losing her temper. But this was her voice. Unfiltered, unnarrated. No editor's twist, no tabloid spin. Just Rachel, and it raised a much deeper question. Was this the damning evidence the producers had been quietly hoping for? Or was it proof that someone inside the production had been deliberately baiting her, waiting for the exact moment she would break just so they could hit record? Because if this audio didn't leak by accident, and most now believe it didn't, then it was strategic. It was targeted. Which means the real question may not be what she said, but why now? And that's where the story gets darker. If the audio shook the internet, it absolutely fractured the cast. Within hours of the leak going viral, anonymous messages began surfacing on Reddit threads and closed theater forums, allegedly from crew members who were there. That day, one post read, "I knew someone was recording. You could feel it, like something was about to blow." Another said she was cracking for days. But hearing it like this, out of context, that's not the Rachel I worked with. But not everyone was sympathetic, according to a private DM. Sent to a West End gossip account by someone claiming to be a backstage dresser, no one was shocked. The tension had been thick all week. People were walking on eggshells around her. And then came the chorus. One alleged ensemble member posted anonymously after the clip surfaced. Some of us replayed it 5 times. Some stood up for her, and some just said, "Finally." The split was immediate. It didn't end with the cast. A fresh shockwave has just rocked the ongoing Rachel Zegler Evita saga this time. It's not a vague memo, a shaky behind-the-scenes video, or rumors whispered by anonymous crew members. No, this time, it's her voice. A leaked audio. Recording allegedly captured during one of the final rehearsals for the Evita revival has erupted across private theater groups, fan discussion boards, and influencer circles like a digital wildfire. What started as a discreet whisper quickly transformed into a deafening roar. Within mere hours of surfacing, the clip ignited an explosion of controversy. So what's in this mysterious recording? What exactly was sedanned? Why is this short, grainy clip shifting the entire tone of the scandal? If the previously leaked video of Rachel's alleged meltdown stirred the pot, this recording is launching missiles. According to numerous insider reports, the audio appears to catch an unfiltered backstage outburst from Rachel Zegler during a rehearsal break. She's allegedly heard raising her voice, calling out members of the production team, and making remarks that Tifu authentic are already drawing deep lines across an increasingly divided fan base. It's brief, it's low quality, but it's undeniably explosive. What makes this even more incendiary is the timing. The audio surfaced just days after. Rachel's legal team fired off cease and desist letters demanding the takedown of all unauthorized backstage footage tied to the Evita production, including that now infamous viral video in which she's allegedly seen throwing a prop in frustration. So now, the fandom is asking, were they trying to silence that video to keep what followed the audio from seeing the light of day? Because this isn't just another internet rumor. This is a voice. It's charged with emotion. It's unfiltered. And depending on whom you ask, it's either the damning proof producers had been waiting for, or the very scenario Rachel's camp feared the most. So just how serious is it? What exactly does the clip reveal, and why is this 34-second audio snippet causing more chaos than everything that came before it? Let's rewind, because this one moment, this single recording may be the loudest and most definitive chapter in a saga. That's already deafening. It didn't debut on a major news outlet. It wasn't released by a celebrity gossip account. God, it didn't even have a name attached to it. Like many internet firestorms, it started in the shadows. The Phyla 34-second voice memo titled simply, Stage 1.mpp3 was first shared anonymously in a private WhatsApp group for West End insiders. No tags, no captions, no watermark, just sound. And what followed was instantaneous. Within the hour, that same clip began cropping up in private Twitter circles, niche Reddit communities labeled NSFW Theater Leaks, and deep within Discord, servers operated by musical theater superfans. Then came TikTok. Despite the poor quality, the background noise nearly overwhelming the audio. No visuals, just the faint echo of a young woman's voice cracking under strain. Took just one listen for people to start making guesses, and those guesses were near unanimous. The voice belonged to Rachel Zegler, or at the very least, it sounded remarkably like her. The statement that triggered the storm. That's where the controversy deepens. Some listeners claim they heard her yell, "This is a joke. None of you get it." Others insist she snapped, "This role was mine from day one. Stop questioning me." A few fans are adamant she was shouting directly at the director. The specifics remain fuzzy, but the emotional weight, that was unmistakable. She sounded livid, wounded, possibly humiliated. Her voice wasn't just stern, it was trembling, like someone who had finally reached their breaking point after holding it together for too long. And with that, fans suddenly had something far more visceral to latch onto. Not just still frames from a blurry video or secondhand accounts from crew members. This time, they had her voice, her cadence, her tone. Breakdown you could hear. As the audio crossed 50,000 plays, TikTok creators jumped in. Edits exploded. Subtitled versions went viral. Some creators slowed the audio down, comparing it to Rachel's past interviews and calling out how her tone no longer matched the polished, gentle persona she had projected during press junkets. That's when the real fallout began, because this wasn't just a celebrity having a rough day. This felt like a raw, unguarded moment, one that either exposed Rachel Zegler's hidden ego or her exhaustion. And overnight, the public narrative changed yet again. That short clip didn't just confirm old suspicions, it gave fans a brand new set of beliefs. And what happened next would rip the fan base in two. By the time the audio reached major YouTube commentary channels, it had already fractured into a dozen different interpretations. Each listener picked up something slightly different, but one consensus rang clear. Rachel Zegler wasn't performing. She was furious. Multiple insiders who claimed to have been present during that specific rehearsal day insisted the captured outburst wasn't part of a scene. It wasn't scripted. It was unfiltered emotion. The alleged Rachel broke character mid-scene, turned toward the wings, and snapped. The most widely circulated transcription. "You people don't get it. This role was mine from the start, and you're treating me like I'm disposable." Other lines allegedly included, "I'm not a puppet, okay? I'm not here to play nice for you." He's rewriting everything last minute, and I'm the one who looks insane. "Don't talk to me like I'm some random girl from Twitter. I'm the lead." Even with the audio's low fidelity, the emotional tone was unmistakable. There was bitterness, fatigue, and something else, an edge of entitlement. That last line, "I'm the lead," became a lightning rod online. Within hours, it was trending on X, formerly Twitter, woven into parodies, musical remixes, and reaction videos. It became both a meme and a battle cry, depending on your stance. And just like that, the backlash expanded. It wasn't just about a meltdown anymore, it was about perception. Critics seized on the clip as definitive proof of a toxic ego, a diva lashing out at her team. They argued Rachel had become unmanageable, a liability to the production. But her defenders told a different story. They heard a young performer cracking under relentless pressure, a woman at the center of a crumbling project. Scapegoat. One viral TikTok comment summed it up best. "She doesn't sound spoiled, she sounds cornered." And that's why this audio leak hit so much harder than anything before it. The director's notes portrayed her as difficult. The video showed her allegedly losing control. But this was her voice. No filter, no spin, just her. It left fans and critics alike with a single, haunting question. Was this the smoking gun producers had quietly been sitting on, waiting to unleash? Or was it a setup, an emotional trap that someone had the foresight to record, and the intent to weaponize? Because if someone from inside the theater released this clip, then this wasn't a fluke. It was a strategy. And that raises an even bigger question. Why now?